fire.
Hello Brawlers and welcome. Today we'll be bringing you our first multi-attribute deck for the channel. More specifically, we'll be using a mix of Pyrus, Darkus, and Subterra Bakugan. Our goal today is to make a good framework that allows for adaptability, both in the deck's battle strategy, but also in which cards and Bakugan you're able to use. Our Bakugan and cards will be selected from Battle Brawlers and New Destroya, though our deck does not rely on specific Bakugan, so you can definitely use others if you'd like. Support pieces are not necessary for this strategy either, but we'll have options for them in case you are playing with them, specifically Bakugan Trap. Unlike our previous deck profiles, Bakugan Trap can give us new options to explore. There's probably things you can do with other types of support pieces as well, so as always, feel free to change and experiment with this list to make something you love. For our Bakugan, we'll be using Pyrus Neo Dragonoid with 710 Gs, Darkus Hades, also with 710 Gs, and Subterra Brontes with 720 Gs. Obviously, these Bakugan are much stronger than our usual recommendations, but we wanted to switch things up. As many people have varied collections of Bakugan, they also have varied G-powers, and we wanted to explore that here. If you play with stronger or weaker Bakugan than the ones we've listed, then adjust your choices accordingly. The specific Bakugan you use don't matter too much, but you'll want to use one Pyrus, one Subterra, and one Darkus Bakugan for this strategy. If you and your opponent are using Bakugan Trap, we recommend using ones that are part of Maxis Dragonoid with this strategy. Doing so will give us access to a powerful ability card, and most pieces of Maxis Dragonoid allow the brawler to swap their Bakugan to their opposite attribute, which can be quite helpful to us when battling on our Gold Gate card, but we'll get to that in a second. If you don't have any of the pieces of Maxis Dragonoid, we recommend any Pyrus, Darkus, or Subterra Bakugan Trap that can switch Bakugan to Aquos, Chaos, or Ventus. Our Gold Gate card is the namesake for this video, Forest Fire. This card's bonuses for Pyrus, Subterra, and Darkus are actually quite low, but the effect of this card states that it boosts those three attributes by 50 G-power while it is in the used pile. If you're using a Bakugan Trap, you might consider using it here if you can switch to Aquos, Chaos, or Ventus, hence why we recommended those attributes earlier. You might also use your blue ability card here if the trap you're using is part of Maxis Dragonoid, but that's getting ahead of ourselves. Regardless, this gate card is usually played first, but if you're fighting against an opponent who only uses Pyrus, Subterra, or Darkus Bakugan, you might consider playing this card later or even last, as the benefit of this card would help both you and your opponent, thus canceling out any benefit. Also, this deck accidentally works perfectly with the Lighting Field Gold Gate card, since we have Brontes as one of our Bakugan. The Pyrus, Subterra, and Darkus bonuses are all pretty good on that card, and Bakugan gain plus 200 G-power if their brawler has Brontes standing on another card. That wasn't on purpose, but we just thought we'd mention that you can use that card instead of Forest Fire if you want. As long as your Silver Gate card boosts Pyrus, Subterra, and Darkus Bakugan more than other attributes, it'll help our strategy. We've selected Gloomy Gate since we have it on hand, but Black Hole, Pit Dweller, and the Cliffs work quite well if you don't have that card. Overall, our Silver Gate card doesn't matter too much, especially if we're playing it after we have the boost from Forest Fire, but be aware that you won't always want to play this card last, so you want to make it count. Our Copper Gate card is our power play. We'll be using Rainbow. This one, not the other Rainbow. Gotta love multiple cards having the same name. Anyway, Rainbow is an excellent card for our strategy, as its effect states that each Bakugan receives plus 100 G-power for each different color, meaning attribute, that a brawler is using in this game. Since we've brought 3 different attributes, our Bakugan will get plus 300 G-power from this card, which is obviously awesome. If you like to play against brawlers who specialize in one attribute, you'll have an easy time winning on this card. We have multiple options for our red ability card. To keep the theme from our gate cards, we can use Rainbow Portal.
Rainbows.
This card is played at the beginning of the game, and says that while this is the only ability card in our used pile, we may re-roll any Pyrus, Subterra, or Darkus Bakugan once per turn. This means that until we use another ability, we can roll our Bakugan up to 2 times per turn, and the wording suggests we can do this whether we stand or miss on that first roll. This helps a lot if you're new to the game or haven't gotten a grip on rolling quite yet. If you are more confident in your rolling skills, then you'll want to make use of a generically good red ability card. Dan's Throw is quite good to recycle your other ability cards, which is quite powerful. Masquerade's Throw is the opposite and makes your opponent waste one of their unused ability cards, which is also very good. If you want to focus less on resources and more on Bakugan placement, then Magnetic Action is a great pick. This ability is played after your opponent rolls, and lets you place their Bakugan on any gate card in the arena. This is awesome, as it means that you can force your opponent into battles they might not want to be in, and it's doubly good due to the way it's worded. This card is played after your opponent rolls. They don't have to stand. This means your opponent can't miss on purpose to try and avoid battling with you, which can be very powerful under the right circumstances. There's other great red ability cards you can play too, so experiment and see what feels best for you. Our green ability card is nice and simple. You'll either want to use Shadow Fire or Shadow Lash. These cards are very similar and are played during battle on an opponent's gate card. When played, your opponent loses their gate attribute bonus. These cards require you to be battling with different Bakugan to use. Shadow Fire requires you to be battling with Pyrus or Darkus Bakugan to activate, while Shadow Lash requires Subterra or Darkus Bakugan. Other than that, their effects are the same, and quite good. Now, we've had a few flex spots in this video already, but our blue ability card of choice is especially dependent on other elements of our deck. If we're using any traps from Max's Dragonoid, then consider using the ability card Darkhound. This card is played during battle when you have a trap piece of Max's Dragonoid deployed, and makes you change your Bakugan back to whatever attribute it was at the start of the battle. Then, your Bakugan gains G-Power based on its attribute. Funnily enough, the 3 highest bonuses on this card are for Pyrus, Subterra, and Darkus Bakugan, which all gain 180 G-Power once they switch back to their original attribute. Needless to say, that's a very nice bonus, and being able to gain this much G-Power on 3 separate attributes is a rare luxury. Just be careful about battling when your Bakugan trap are in their used pile. If you want to instead punish your opponent for using Bakugan trap, you can make use of Landmine Pyro. This card is played during a battle where your opponent has a Bakugan trap, and allows your Bakugan to gain G-Power based on its attribute. These bonuses aren't quite as high as those on Darkhound, but they're still quite good, particularly the Pyrus bonus. If you and your opponent aren't using any Bakugan trap, you'll want to try other blue ability cards. For that, we recommend Sky and Gaia Dragonoid, which gives your Bakugan 150 G-Power in battle as long as all of your Bakugan are different attributes and different types, which ours are. While it's not as powerful and has a more limiting activation condition, Julie's Charge can be quite good for our strategy too, and seems to be more common. Really though, any card that supports the Bakugan we're using is welcome. With lots of tools and even more possibilities at our disposal, I hope this deck serves as a good foray into strategies that use multiple attributes. With flexibility on your side, you should be able to handle a wide variety of situations with this deck, and its adjustable nature means even more options to outmaneuver various opponents. We hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll see you next time. Peace.